We plan. We predict. We prepare. We spend our lives trying to keep things in line, relationships, careers, futures. But deep down, we all know the truth: life refuses to be controlled. No matter how careful you are, storms still come. People still leave. Plans still fall apart. And yet, we keep tightening our grip, convinced that control equals safety. But what if control isn't the solution? What if it's the source of our suffering? Today, we'll decode the psychology of control, why we crave it, how it hijacks our peace, and how learning to let go can set your mind free. 1. The need for control. The need for control begins with survival. As children, we depend entirely on others' food, protection, comfort. When life feels unpredictable, the mind searches for stability. So control becomes a form of security, a way to create predictability in a chaotic world. And as we grow, that instinct never leaves. Psychologists call it the illusion of control, the belief that we can influence outcomes that are, in truth, beyond our reach. We cling to it because uncertainty feels dangerous, not intellectually, but biologically. Your brain interprets uncertainty as threat. And to ease that discomfort, it builds the illusion of control, even if it's false. 2. The brain on uncertainty. The amygdala, the brain's threat detector, lights up when outcomes are unpredictable. It releases cortisol, the stress hormone, signaling danger, even if the danger is just waiting for a text back or an email reply. Your nervous system doesn't care what you can't control, it just hates not knowing. That's why people prefer bad news to no news. The brain can handle pain better than ambiguity. Uncertainty leaves the mind searching for patterns, any sense of order, which is how superstition, overthinking, and anxiety often form. Control isn't about power. It's about comfort. 3. Control and anxiety. Anxiety is the mind's attempt to predict pain before it happens. It rehearses every possibility, thinking that preparation equals protection. But the paradox is that the more you try to control uncertainty, the more anxious you become. You start trying to manage what was never yours: people's opinions, timing, outcomes, the future. And every time life doesn't obey, anxiety spikes again. The more control you seek, the less peace you have. 4. Control is a trauma response for many. Control isn't just habit, it's healing. If you grew up in chaos, neglect, or emotional unpredictability, control becomes your safety blanket. You learned early that if you can manage everything, emotions, people, expectations, you won't get hurt. But adulthood brings a painful truth: the walls that once protected you now isolate you. You can't connect deeply or live fully while holding everything too tightly. The child who controlled to survive becomes the adult who controls to avoid feeling. Healing begins when you realize you're safe enough to stop managing everything. 5. The illusion of control in modern life. Our culture worships control: productivity trackers, self-optimization, manifestation. We treat life like a project to be managed, not a mystery to be experienced. But perfection is control disguised as ambition. And the moment we equate worth with outcomes, peace disappears. You can have goals without control. You can have plans without obsession. You can move intentionally without needing to predict every turn. Control gives the illusion of mastery, but often robs you of meaning. 6. The hidden fear beneath control. If you look beneath every controlling behavior, you'll find one core emotion: fear. Fear of loss. Fear of rejection. Fear of the unknown. Fear of pain. Control is fear wearing a mask of order. The mind says, if I can control it, I can't be hurt. But life, by design, includes hurt, and the more you resist it, the more it rules you. Freedom doesn't come from eliminating fear. It comes from realizing you can handle it when it arrives. 7. The paradox of letting go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means shifting from force to flow, from resistance to trust. When you let go, you stop trying to control what's outside you and start mastering what's within you, your responses, your focus, your energy. This is what psychologist Viktor Frankl discovered in concentration camps. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. You can't control life's chaos, but you can control the meaning you give it. That's real power. 8. The control-trust spectrum. Every relationship, goal, or dream sits on a spectrum between control and trust. Control says, I need to make this happen. Trust says, I'll give my best and allow what's meant to unfold. Control tightens. Trust expands. Control exhausts. Trust energizes. Trust isn't blind optimism, it's emotional maturity. It's saying, even if things don't go as planned, I'll be okay. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. 9. The psychology of acceptance. Acceptance is not resignation, it's realism without resistance. It's acknowledging, this is what is, before deciding what to do next. Studies show that acceptance-based practices, like mindfulness, reduce stress and increase resilience. When you stop fighting reality, your nervous system calms, freeing energy to respond effectively. Control drains power. Acceptance restores it. 10. How to release the need for control. Letting go is a practice, not a one-time act. Here's how psychology suggests we begin. Identify what you can and can't control. Write it down. Seeing it breaks illusion. Focus on influence, not domination. Guide where you can, surrender where you can't. Observe without fixing. When discomfort arises, don't rush to control it. Breathe through it. Use rituals, not rules. Replace rigid routines with flexible rituals that adapt to life's flow. Practice mindful uncertainty. Spend time in unpredictability, travel, try new things, let others lead. Replace control with curiosity. Ask, what is life showing me right now, instead of why isn't this going my way? Letting go isn't loss, it's liberation. 11. The peace beyond control. True peace doesn't come from mastering life, it comes from harmonizing with it. When you stop gripping so tightly, something amazing happens, clarity appears. Because control clouds vision, but surrender sharpens it. You begin to see that things often work better when you stop forcing them. You start trusting timing, trusting detours, trusting yourself. You realize that peace isn't found in predicting the future, it's found in fully inhabiting the present. 12. The deep truth about control. Control feels powerful, but it's rooted in fear. Surrender feels frightening, but it's rooted in faith. And faith, whether in life, yourself, or something greater, is the only control that truly sets you free. You don't have to let go of everything. Just what was never yours to hold. Let go of the outcomes. Hold on to the effort. Let go of perfection. Hold on to progress. Let go of fear. Hold on to faith. Because the moment you stop trying to control everything, is the moment life finally has space to unfold. If this message brought you a little peace or perspective, take one small breath, and then one small action. Click subscribe, like this video, and keep growing with Mind Decode. Because sometimes, peace isn't about gaining control. It's about remembering you never needed it to begin with.